Okay, bathroom is a mess. It's okay. Dear Donnie Flowers, I am here to call judgment on you in your face personally. I am here to say that for years, I've been knowing you for 4 years this summer. For years, I've been trying to get you to choose me as your woman, and you never have. I believe there's a reason for that. I asked you just recently if you were married. You said you married someone to help them gain citizenship. Please cease and desist from negotiating on my behalf. Aileen Dorothea Atkins, that resides at 6010 North 32nd Street, Tampa, Florida, 33610. Any money or gifts or anything you collected on my behalf, please return to me. Please cease and desist from any attempts to sacrifice me. Please cease and desist from putting any love spells on me or attraction spells or spells to be seen as trustworthy and or desirable in my eyes. I want to make sure I say everything. I want to free myself and stop living in fear. April 4th, you reappeared in my life after not being around for some months. That was my court date, so I found that coincidental. February 9th, the police pulled me over and took my driver's license and my tag. I often wondered if you had that orchestrated. When I talk to you, I don't feel like you give me honest answers, so I'm handling it this way. I need to reclaim my life, my inheritance, and the gifts that I've worked hard to receive in the world. Please, if you care anything about me and my 4 children, reveal secrets that I know you know. Tell me the truth. After we came back from the 4th of July party at Tina Fernandez and Anthony K. Atkins' house in Summerfield, you had no conversation for me. I told you that I had great things planned, but I needed a negotiator because as a woman, people were not taking me seriously as somebody who was falsely accused of having mental health issues and being taken advantage of by the medical establishment when I gave birth in May 26, 2004 to my twins, when the medical allopathic establishment tried to cover their ass and diagnosed me with having psychosis, NOS, not otherwise specified. Dr. Gustavo Quadra, Dr. Daly committed these terrible acts, Dr. Louis Paleo, and Dr. Pettigrew of the OBGY facility at Morton Plant Meese Hospital. None of the attorneys would help me, not Norman Palumbo Jr., the first attorney who could have nixed it in the bud, not Angela Bridget Wright, not Barbara Twine Thomas, who's now a judge in the 13th Judicial Circuit Court until 2027, unless justice takes place. I need you all to right these wrongs for the success of my children. I intentionally live nomadic and indigenous so that my children will not have limited thinking. I don't want food stamps and Medicaid and these things. I don't want them to think that when life gets hectic, you go run to the government. You fall on your knees and you beg of God. However, my family has gone behind my back and done terrible things against me. I've never applied for a PPL loan. I have not applied for unemployment. I have not married anyone. I have not married anyone for citizenship. I've tried to claim monies in unclaimed property. They stole my book bag. They stole my purse. I asked you if you stole credit cards out of my purse when I was sleeping on the sofa at your house. I felt like I needed to hide my purse behind the sofa. There's a reason I felt like I had to hide my purse behind the sofa. Prior to that, I asked you to look at your video cameras because someone had gone through my car while I was at your house. You told me you reviewed the footage and nobody went through anything in my car. I know you were lying to me. I knew then, but you are so much more intelligent and savvy than me. That's why I named you the master manipulator. And I admired your capabilities to change people's emotional state. I want to help Black people to rebuild their will. And with that kind of power, I thought you could help me help our people get back to being in the mindset of the pyramid builders. Now I'm forced to conclude that you use that power for bad and not good. This is very hurtful to me. I thought you and I would be friends for a lifetime. Where the rubber meets the road is I simply don't believe that Harold McCray, my friend, my boyfriend from junior college, so this has been 20, 30 years ago, I don't believe that he would know that I was in need and not try to help me. So when I asked you to go talk to Harold because I didn't know if he was married in a relationship and I didn't want to create ripples or interfere with that, so I figured if I sent a mail, there would be no disruption in his relationship. You came back and told me that Harold said, do not ever contact him again. He's got a new life and he can't help me. It could be true. I simply don't believe it. I believe you told Harold terrible things about me. Maybe you told him I have some kind of terminal illness, which I do not. Maybe you told him I was crazy. I don't know. But I want you to share the truth with me. I want you to come clean with me. I want you to be honest. I want you to go back to people and tell the truth. Correct your errors. I am calling judgment on you. If you did these things, I'm hoping and praying that karma comes to you in some very unpleasant ways, however the Creator decides to bring them to you. This concludes my message. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want you coming to check on me and having nothing to say and nothing of importance to discuss. Every time I ask you important questions, you never respond to me. I know that you only like the little girl in me. She's taking a back seat now. So when you kept saying, what does it mean that you're 50? What does it mean that you're 50? It means that I am an adult now, a comedic, full grown woman with a parasympathetic system that is nice and mellow, that can hear the divine speaking, and that now is standing in her courage and being able to go back and correct the wrongs. When my children were stolen from me by the 13th Judicial Circuit Court with the help of my fake friend Natalie Carnegie, mostly, I wasn't able to see that before now. When Irene Scarborough died, my grandmother, it's like the scales were moved from my eyes. Yes, I believe my family does black magic. Yes, I believe my grandmother did black magic, which caused all but one of her children to die before her. And that was because he was taking care of her. He probably would have been dead too. Am I saying she sacrificed her children? I'm not saying that, but when you do black magic against other people, when it backfires and it comes back, if you're strong and protected, then it's going to hit the people around you. And I believe that's what happened. My grandmother told me to my face, my children would be better off with my brother. I prayed for those twins. God put them in my womb. I left alternatives, abortion clinic to give birth to those children. I told Paul Hanner Jr., who I had broke up with because he left the Hebrew religion to go back to Christianity, cut his hair, cut his beard, and I couldn't understand that. And after we broke up, I kept longing for him sexually. So to break that soul tie, I called James McCaskill of Clearwater and I said, hey, if you're not married or in a relationship, come see me. He came to see me. I think James was married at that time. He didn't say he was, though. So my children belong to one of those two men. Mistakes come back and bite you in the ass. My children have grew up without a father. It's been devastating. My children were taken from me for my activism. That was punishment against me for my activism. And my fake friend Natalie went around telling people I had some mental breakdown, which I never did. I was requesting lotus birth. I wanted my children to have all of the blood, all of the oxygen and other nutrients in the blood that belonged to them. I believe that allopathic OBGYN doctors and many midwives were clamping cords, yanking and squeezing umbilical cords so that the cord blood would go back into the placenta, and they were later selling that blood for stem cell research clandestinely at that time for $30,000-$40,000 an ounce. They were using the placentas for interferon and just piecing it out. So one placenta could net $1 million for whoever the dark one was. Because I was Rh negative, my placentas were more valuable. I had 2 babies in the fraternal setting, so that was 2 individual placentas. Both were stolen from me out of my room. Risk management came. I can't remember his name, the guy over risk management at Morton Plant Meese Hospital. They came into the room and stole my placentas out of the cabinet. They were already in a bucket and in a bag for me to take home so that I could do what I wanted, whether that was cook it, turn it into a powder and take it as medicine, whether that was bury them in the ground and plant a tree over the top. But they took that opportunity away from me. I'm saying names for a reason. I'm drawing a heavy line in the sand to say, stop fucking